Okay, so welcome to the rest of our part to create a rack system. So what we are going to do now is we are going to create a Telegram bot where we are going to respond to it, and it is it who is going to interact with our AI agent. So simply you will have to go to Telegram and add the bot phase A room. And once you're on it, you're going to write him a newsbot slash. And then it will say, okay, choose the name of your boot. I'm going to choose Lift My Work, and there he says, okay, now choose a name that ends in boot. So there I'm going to put Lift My Work, and there at the bottom, a boot there. He created my bot, we see it. And now what he does is he tells me, okay, you can click here to talk to your bot. So here we are going to do that. We are going to start that. So that's how I have my bot, which is added, and it gives me the famous token. So token that I will simply copy. We're going to go now to n8n. So we pick up where we were and we're going to do more. And there we are going to type Telegram. And what interests us is necessarily the trigger. And we are going to say no message. So when there is a message, you trigger select credential. We create the new credential access token. You paste the key that the bottom gave you. You do save, nothing simpler, and there you have your connection. There's our Telegram trigger. He's waiting for our message. So you see, it's super simple. Okay, so once we have made our Telegram trigger, there are two schools. Either you are going to make your Telegram accessible to everyone. So in that case, you can move on to the next step. Either you want to reserve it for your team. For example, if it's for email management and all that, so we're going to add security. It's very simple. For that, just click on the plus there. We will put an if. And basically the if says what? It will say that if this value is equal to that, then I continue, otherwise I will not continue. So we will do a workflow test again. There he is waiting. I will say hello to him. I have my cuckoo who passed by, and there we will recover the information that interests me. So if my ID, so there my ID, we can clearly see that it is this one, it is unique. It is my Telegram ID. So if ID is equal to that, then you go into the hole. If this is not the case, you are going to false. So that means that there. You can see she went over the hole. In this case, he will be able to go to that branch. On the other hand, if the ID does not match, we will go to false. Then we will voluntarily change the ID to go to the false branch to be able to configure it. So if I do this, is it okay? Come on, what have I done? Is it okay? So you see there I was wrong. I said it was a string, and in fact it's a number. So you have to go into the number and you put is equals everything. That's what makes sense, because it gives us a 1, not a string of characters, but numbers. And if you're not in the number, it won't work. So there he tells me, well, so if I do this and I do that again, we agree. You see, I cheated. I changed the tool. So we are well in the wrong branch. And what I'm going to tell him, I'm going to tell him very well. In this case, I'm going to Telegram reply to a message, so it's a tag message. That's the message. Here is text message seen. And here's what I'm going to tell him. Okay, in this case, you take the person's ID to answer necessarily. And basically you're going to tell him that, bah, he's not authorized to talk to this agent. So there in text I tell him you are not authorized to communicate with this agent. That's it, and that means you've created security. That is to say that if the condition it is not equal to this ID, well, in this case it passes on the branch false, and it will answer, you are not authorized to use this agent. So here we are going to do a test. I do a test of my workflow, I put hello to him, and there you see, he answers me, you are not authorized to communicate with this agent. So there was a form of security. You see here we have the message was sent automatically by n8n, so we can hide it. Just click here. There you add a property and n8n attribution, and there you uncheck this thing there. So if I retest the workflow, you put this. Hi, you are not authorized to communicate with this error. So every time the person will find themselves in a refusal. So here we are good, we saw that it worked. So now what we're going to do is we're going to move on. I'm going to hand over my ID to switch to the flow branch this time. So what we're going to do right away is we're going to give our Telegram box the opportunity. So he communicates with him either in text or voice. So for this nothing simpler, we're going to draw our line and we're going to make a switch. And here we will recover values. So if in the book at the cat level we have this, so that this variable we are going to say that it exists. So there we are going to put that string exists. So if that exists, then it will be the text branch. So what we're going to do is we're going to add another road. So here I don't yet have the variable that interests me, but it doesn't matter. We're going to run, and there we're going to put voices. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to send an audio message to my Telegram inbox to continue. So here I'm going to put my Telegram box back into listening, it's in writing, and there I'm going to put, hello, how are you? So there I sent him a message, so there, boom, we are there, and there what interests me, so it is not on this variable, there we see it, and there, if I go down a little lower, we see that it has a thing called voice, and there we will recover the ID. So if there is one ID which exists, then it's always the same. We will put, if there is a voice notice that exists, in this case it goes to the voice branch. So there you go. A bit like we separate the thing, it means that here, if I send text it will go there, if I send voice it will go there. And there we see that like the last time I sent voice, we can clearly see that it passes through this branch there. And here what's going to be interesting is that in the voice here, we are going to recover this famous voice file to have it analyzed. So here it is enough to mark Telegram. And if I don't talk nonsense, it's a get rail. So I get the famous file from my Telegram. So I say innocently. It says so there, I request the ID, so the ID we are going to recover, it is this one, then message, Westfid ID, and there, so download, I want him to give it load, and there we are going to call now our whisper. So Whisper is a software that we installed that allows us to transform voice into writing, which avoids using the transcription of OpenHigh. So once again we are really in full locale on this TP, so we continue there. Remember that there is no Whisper module that exists, so what do? We create one HTTP OHOKIS and HTTP request. And there, hang on, because there are still a lot of little things to do. So there post OK there, we are going to call our Whisper. So the URL address is that It's HTTP place/Swisper on port 9000 ASR. There is no need for authentication because we are in full local. There, on the other hand, Sandbody, it will be interesting. And here what I am going to tell him is that you are going to look for data. And in the body parameters, I want it to be the file n8n binary file. And there, basically in name, we will call it audio file and input. We're going to look for that in data because it's the file that n8n gives us. It's called base data. So once we do that, it's great. We have the transcript that's supposed to put me back in put mode. Our famous book, actually. So we're gonna test that right away. So I simply take my workflow back, I put it to the test, and then I'm going to say, hello, how's it going? Hi, how are you? Do you see where the audio went? There we see that it is calling my whisper, so it takes a little more time depending on the capabilities of your machine. And there, if I do this, I see he converted my file to salute, how are you? So you see, we made our whisper transcription system totally free in local mode. So here you see the importance at the GDPR level is that our data, our voice and all that, it is not sent OpenAI, it is really analyzed on our server. So we limit the breakage and data leakage. So once that's done, we will find ourselves in another video where I will connect an AI agent, because this text part is actually already configured. We have a text output, that is to say that there I'm going to return here, I'm going to say hello to it, and you see that it's going to go to the item branch there. So if I go there, we see that in the output format, I have my cuckoo. And what we want is for the AI agent to analyze the text, so it's good. We see that it worked for the voice, we see that it worked for the text. So now we will have to do more than make our AI agent and connect after all our tools. So we'll see you in the next video.